those are the pro-Palestinian, in some cases, or in many cases, pro-Hamas people cheering in their illegal rally and encampment. And then, if you recall, the police came in and just destroyed it and arrested 21 of them. It was beautiful. That was them after they were released from jail in Collin County. They had a cadre of cheering people to release them. Well, I don't think they're feeling so well now, because the Dallas Morning News does a piece on them. Like, whatever. Let's see, this was going on, I think, May 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it was May 1st when this went down. And the people that were arrested still have no idea what's going to happen there. And the Dallas Morning News writes about this today. Collin County prosecutors still have not dropped the charges. Why would they? You violated the law. What do you think, you're Hunter Biden? The 22-year-old computer science major was told, you can't be on school grounds, you're violating your bond conditions, when he showed up for the graduation ceremony and held up a nasty flag going after Israel. And here we are a month later from that graduation ceremony that he was thrown off and escorted off by the administration officials and the police. He still has yet to receive his diploma. And I love why is Dallas Morning News saying Collin County officials still haven't dropped the charges? Why would they drop the charges? Do you want them to drop the charges? That's one of my first questions. Do you want Collin County officials to drop the charges for these people who were having an illegal protest and illegal encampment, where they brought in overnight pallets and tires and tents and all sorts of stuff to, quote unquote, occupy that part of UTD? The students there were also harassing Jews and following them home. Unbelievable. Just, you think this would be in like some radical Islam type of section of town in Britain or France. It's in America, and in Richardson/Dallas at UTD. It's shocking. It's disgusting. I don't want anything dropped. Do you? And then also, the students still haven't gotten their, a month or two after graduation, they still haven't gotten their, at least this guy hasn't gotten his diploma yet. I have no problem with that. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. If you don't like it, don't do it. You should be willing. You claim this is for life and genocide. Why would you care about your diploma when genocide's going on? You're freaking out about that. Why would you worry about this? So this UTD student who just graduated supposedly but doesn't know, I'm paralyzed with my options, he says. Good. Welcome to the club for consequences for people. UTD also is, according to the Dallas Morning News, and one of the lawyers that represents these pro-Palestinian students, saying that the university is threatening to withhold degrees. Okay? And then here, I love this one. Ben Wright, an associate professor of history, was one of the 3 faculty members arrested at UTD during this protest who cannot access campus unless for job-related duties. He can't go to campus unless it's job-related. He was supposed to spend his summer, this is great, he was supposed to spend this summer working on a historic project for which he was awarded a $480,000 grant. That was my plan for what I was going to be doing this summer. Now my plan for what I'm doing with my summer is trying to keep my students from going to jail. Hey, good. Enjoy it. Yes, this is what you created. Good. I'm glad you're worried about you and your students not going to jail. Dr. Martin Luther King himself said that there was a price to be paid. When I went to the King Museum, it's a federal park, if you will, territory, land where the King Museum is in Atlanta. One of the things I read, of many things I read years ago when I was there at the WBAP of Atlanta, was that if somebody is not willing, if a man's not willing to go to jail or suffer the consequences for what he stands up for, then he doesn't believe in what he's standing up for at all. So you guys should just enjoy it and deal with the consequences. But I love how they're trying to make him a victim. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Do you support these harsher punishments for the pro-Palestinian and even pro-terrorist protesters? Do you want the charges dropped? And is there any place on our campus for this kind of speech? I don't think there is whatsoever when it comes to Jew hatred. Following Jewish students home off campus, which is terrorism. You're literally scaring the hell out of somebody because you don't like their religion, their faith. That's like a hate crime precursor. That's insane. I am so grateful that we're cracking down harder in Texas. This crap did not happen this cracking down did not happen at UCLA and all these other universities across the country. So good. This is very good. Okay, now I can't wait to get into this one because the Joe Biden folks are raving about inflation and, oh, look, it's going down. And, oh, my plan's working. And look at all this. It's great. And all the media today was, humping Joe's leg. Oh, look at this. Inflation's down. Look at this. It's great. Okay. Well, I'll share a bunch of stuff with you. Here's some of the headlines. Inflation slows down in May with consumer prices up 3.3% from a year ago. So inflation ticked down slightly, but it's still up. What you're paying today for your groceries is 3.3% more than you paid a year ago. All the inflation has still been accumulating. It's not going down. The rate is slowing, but it's still going higher and higher and higher and higher. It's not going down. It never will go down, according to every expert I've talked to and heard. So inflation, Dallas Morning News reporting today as well, eased in May for a second straight month. Hopeful signs, they talk about, that a pickup in prices occurred early this year may have passed. Yeah, right. By the way, if you strip out the volatile food and energy costs, okay, it's called, I'm sure you know this by now, we've all been learning all these terms for a couple of years now, core CPI, Consumer Price Index, the core index. That is stripping away, as I said, energy and food prices, which are volatile, and everything else. And guess what? Core inflation rose 0.2%. We had an increase of it. We had inflation this month for core inflation. That's everything that is not food or energy related. So, oh my gosh, listen to this bevy of increases from Joe Biden since he took office. Actually, I'm going to share it with you coming up next. I think that you and I, it's hard for us because everything happens slowly, or it actually started happening fast with inflation going up to 9.1%. And contrary to what Joe Biden says, it didn't happen the day he took office. It wasn't 9.1%. It was 1.4% inflation. But when you sit and when I read off this list of how high things have gone up, a bunch of categories, it's worse. It can be enraging. And it makes you so angry because we're bearing the burden of something we shouldn't have to deal with. And so I'm going to read those off to you coming up next. But also I want to ask you this. As, quote, inflation eases a tad bit and as prices remain sky high, though, at the same time. Do you finally feel, according to these reports and according to Team Biden, you're finally feeling less stress in your pocketbook? But my question is, do you actually finally feel less stress in your pocketbook? I don't. Do you? And have you realized how high prices have actually gone up? I'll read off that list coming up next, too. It's pretty shocking to me. Because it's like, we know we're hurting. We know it's been hurting and getting worse. But dang, this is insane when I read it off to you. And do you still feel like they're high now? The prices are high now from over these past 3 years. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. You are going to jump on with me next as well on that. Your call's next. But also, as I mentioned, I got the list of all the prices of major things since Joe Biden took office. Gas, groceries, eating out, baby food, K through 12 food, pet food, rent, electricity, natural gas, used cars, airfare, public transportation, and how much are our real average weekly earnings. When you take Joe Biden's inflation, have we been making money with all these pay increases? Are we making money? All that next. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. Okay, I just want you to be able to see these price numbers and the increases and more stuff on housing and all this stuff. But do you finally feel, because everything's being portrayed by, not everybody, but a lot of stuff's being portrayed as a success. Oh my gosh, inflation ticked down a second month in a row. Are you feeling that? Are you feeling prices loosening up a little bit? Are you feeling relief at the grocery store or in your life, in your spending, in your savings? I am not. And I don't think I'm any different than anybody else. And I don't know what it's like to be somebody who is making, and I know that you can do this, you can do well, you can succeed, but I can't imagine how hard it is for somebody who's just, a solid middle class, maybe just getting by on a combined salary for the house at $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. I mean, this is some hard stuff for people making 40s, 50s, 60s, 70,000 in that whole range. I mean, and below, obviously, because the middle class people, we're getting hit the hardest out of everybody. Even people who are making over $100,000 a year. Now, we're seeing these stories about, inflation is lower. And look at this you're going to love this, from The Atlantic. U.S. economy reaches superstar status. Oh my gosh, the economy is so awesome, from The Atlantic. If the United States economy were an athlete right now, it would be peak LeBron James. If it were a pop star, it would be peak Taylor Swift. Holy gosh. Wow, U.S. economy reaches superstar status. Do you feel that way? I sure as heck don't. Look at these prices. This is where it gets me very, very angry. Okay? Overall prices, 20% increase since Joe Biden took office. All prices overall, 20% increase since Joe Biden took office. Gas prices since Joe took office, up 55%, more than 55%. Electricity, up 29%. Just think about how much this is. 29% increase in electricity since Joe took office, 55% increase in gas, rent increase 21%, grocery prices 21%. And there's more. Since Joe Biden took office, eating out also 22% increase. Baby food, 28% increase. K through 12 food, 65% increase. Pet food, 23% increase. Electricity, 29%. Natural gas, 22% increase. Used cars, 21% increase. Airfare, 40% increase. Public transportation, even that, 27% increase. And then how about our real average weekly earnings? Real average weekly earnings. What does that mean? When you take inflation and you compare the rate of inflation over the past 3.5 years under Joe Biden versus your rate of pay increases, are you making more today than you were the day that Joe Biden took office? Your real average weekly earnings as of right now, so far this whole year, we are still down 3.9%. We'll just round it to 4. Literally, you're losing 4% of your income right now. Even though you've gotten raises and Joe's like, oh, you're a big raise, you're still down 4% from where you were 3.5 years ago. So do you finally feel less stress in your pocketbook, as some in the media are reporting that kind of attitude today? And have you finally realized, have you realized how high prices have gone up? And do you still feel like they're high right now? I sure do. There is no relief in sight for now. I don't see any. And that question, our number, by the way, 800-288-WBAP. Chime in right now, 800-288-9227. One of our listeners, I love quoting her fairly regularly lately, when she asked me a year or so ago with all this, she says, Chris, are the grocery prices ever going to go down? And I said, I don't think so. And experts have said, nope, nothing's ever going to go down. It's the rate of inflation is going to slow. I mean, we need a massive makeover, and what has been happening in this country for 3.5 years is clearly not working. Meantime, United States home prices. This is the biggest chunk out of people's wages and living expenses, not just from the obvious, which is home prices, but I was listening to one of the economists today, I think from Fox Business on Fox News, and they said this is the biggest effect it's having on us and hurting us all is housing. Median home sale prices. And by the way, the Fed today, don't know if you caught this. I'm sure you did, unless you're living under a rock. The Fed announced today, Jerome Powell says, nope, we'll probably have one rate decrease. And it won't be he didn't say this part, but probably won't be till November, December after the election. So we will probably have one rate decrease, in interest rates by a little bit, one time. He was hoping for, and they were shooting for 2 to 3 rate decreases this year. Not happening. One, if you're lucky, and it's late in the year, won't happen until after the election. Boom. And they also say, I was listening to Neil Cavuto on this. I'm not a big fan of his, but he's good on business for sure. And he was saying that they don't do rate increases or decreases typically. Then he's not going to do the rate decrease before the election because it'll look like it's totally manipulated, and he's very much against making it look like he did anything politically. And I think that's good. U.S. home prices, this from Redfin today, have hit an all-time high in April. This is actually from May 17th, almost a month ago. Median home sale price rose 6% year over year. The average home, if you will, median home price is $434,000 in America. That is insane. Remember when it used to be like $250,000? $225,000? Holy gosh. Number of homes for sale hit a 4-year high, partly because houses are sitting stale on the market after being priced too high. 18% of homes for sale in April had a price cut. And anyway, so there you go. I mean, U.S. home prices are now at an all-time high. There's no relief. There's no nothing. This is bad. You can try to polish the turd, but it's still a turd. And I think that's what's going on. All right, coming up next, this is amazing. I mean, it is amazing. Could we be seeing a Trump victory by a pretty sizable margin this time around? Well, the polls coming out today are shocking. One's a national one, and it also includes the swing states. Another one is about a major two blue states that are not swing states that are now really in play. It's crazy. That's next. Oh, yeah. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Woo! I love this one. Yeah, brother. All right, y'all. So, wow. All right, Donald Trump. This is insane. What I'm seeing. This was building up yesterday, and then it just kind of was slam dunk today for me to want to talk about this with you. Because honestly, we don't know, and everything can change, and Trump's his own worst enemy, and we know that. And a lot of people are choosing to say, I'm going with my pocketbook, I'm going with my 4 years under Trump versus this. There were no wars. There was no inflation that was noticeable. There was, there was stability in the world. There was peace breaking out in Israel and the Middle East. And this is insane. And my pocketbooks were great, and inflation was good, and my job was good. We were making money. Now we're losing money. We have been for 3.5 years plus. It's insane. But you don't know. Things are so crazy. Charges that never should have been brought in the state of New York, a conviction, all sorts of wild stuff. Look at this, though. These numbers are insane from across the board. All right. I'm going to share different ones with you. First of all, this one today, YouGov, not YouGov. This is The Economist. They do Economist YouGov polls, but nonetheless, this is from The Economist today. Donald Trump's lead over Joe Biden is small but real. But check this out. what matters, as you know, is not the percentage point he's ahead or behind in the country nationally. That means nothing. What matters is the swing states, right? Okay. In Donald Trump, according to The Economist today, has a 2 in 3 chance of winning the presidency. 2 in 3. He's got a 2/3 chance of winning, 2 out of 3. 2 and 3. And Joe Biden has a 1 in 3 chance. It's literally 66 in 100% chance of Trump winning versus a 33 in 100% chance of Biden. That is beyond insane. I'm like, what the heck? And what that is Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada. That's what matters. And in that, it is wildly pro-Trump as far as the chances versus Biden. That's all. The chances are wildly pro-Trump. That's crazy. And so, again, the Economist says Trump would win in the Electoral College. Listen to this. 296 votes. You need 270 to win. He would right now, Trump, they speculate, would have 296 Electoral College votes. Therefore, he would win. And Joe would only have 242, which, of course, is 28 shy of winning. This is wild. Now, here we go. Nevada, which has never been a swing state. It was never in chance of Trump winning. And last time there was an election for the president in 2020, people were thinking, oh, Nevada. No. This time, yes. In fact, as you know, Trump's ahead by like 5 points in Nevada, or 9 points. It's crazy. But listen, the Nevada governor, a Democrat, came out today, Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo, says that President Biden's failure to rein in national inflation could cost him the election, as the voters in his state find the current economy unsustainable. He said, this is wild. Anyways, he's basically saying this. And so that's crazy. And guess what else Trump said? This is what he said this yesterday. Remember, he said, I'm going to, if you elect me, I will not, we won't tax tips anymore. You elect me. Well, what's the biggest sector of employment in Las Vegas? Hotel, culinary, service. And the unions are all pro-Biden. They're like telling everybody to vote for pro-Biden. They're having rallies. But the people, the members, like, they went wild. In fact, somebody went and surveyed on CNN, I believe, went and surveyed 6 or 7 or something people, and they were shocked. And they said this on the air that 6 people they talked to just in the crowd that are in culinary unions or whatever, work at the hotels, said they would vote. 6 of people they talked to are Democrats, said they would change the vote for Trump because of this. They were changing their vote. So he may have done a slam dunk layup now. And there's more crazy stats. Pennsylvania, Trump is up by 2. And Minnesota, Trump is now in 5-point striking distance in Minnesota. All right, here's my questions for you. Do you think Trump actually has a good chance of winning in November as of right now? Do you think Trump has a good chance of winning in election in November as of right now? What do you see as his biggest obstacles to winning?